Well, hello everybody, and if you celebrate them in any way, I suppose I should say happy holidays. I've been listening to the blues, so I just made myself downright miserable instead. Isn't that fun?
It
Got
is
to know.
fun. All right.
Okay, yeah, but the show never stops as far as we're concerned. Although actually, this will be the last MBTV news as you know it. I think certainly for the next couple of weeks because of the holiday, and then after that, maybe coming back monthly and reformatting a bit. I have not decided yet, but this show only is has to be in for a change, really. Typically, the last week before the holidays and whatever, it's just been quiet. Once again, I've actually got four links, say five links, four of which lead to sites that are actually aggregating the news for you anyway. I'm starting where we sometimes start, but for the oddest of reasons, actually. This is the Scar Ghosts blog, and yeah, cue the music, I suppose. Ooh,
Oops. That was a
nice
finger
one.
slip.
That's a nice one.
Right, right.
we
Missed
got a
that one.
motorbike. We got a motorbike instead of Star
Right.
Ghost.
Here we go.
Oh, started up doesn't work here either. Oh, weird. Ooh. Never mind. I've done it for you. I've done it for you. Okay.
Oh, did you not
Tony
hear it?
Vitello.
I played
No, it
it.
didn't. No, it didn't come
Oh.
through at this end. No. Tony Vitello, of course, is the name the Skull Ghost goes by, or the other way around, in fact. The Skull Ghost is Tony Vitello. And oddly enough, he has a roundup of the week, but he didn't get round to doing it until, well, yesterday my time, I guess Friday his time. And the first thing he says, it's crazy end of the year, Friday the 22nd, writing a roundup dated the 19th and saying he's had a crazy busy week, so I did not have time to write anything. But this roundup I prepared on Tuesday was so rich that I could not skip it, so I'm writing it for you now. Well, it may have been rich for him, a rich week for him, but I'm afraid there's a dearth of news as far as I was concerned. Anyway, we've got it up on the screen here. I'm scrolling through it like I normally do in a sort of reader view. Top news of the week is that apparently there is now a release date for Apple's bigness contraption, and it's 3,500 US dollars, which I think is slightly more than they said at the beginning. But also, a lot of devs have been working on stuff, and uh, this thing is going to be near the very beginning of the year, so it'll be in the first quarter. The Apple's thing actually comes out, and according to Tony here, it may even be as early as January. So
Yeah.
um, I presume the developers have got enough software ready for it now, but who knows? Um, Remember, it seems like a high price, but if that was a new sort of Macintosh Mega Plus edition that had never happened before, that's what you'd expect from an Apple computer. And this really is an Apple computer. It's not. It's not really to be thought of as a helmet, although unfortunately it is a helmet. If you see what I mean. But it's a Apple computer in a helmet rather than a helmet with Android in it or whatever. Right. Anyway, moving on down. More relevant news. Again to Oculus or Quest 2, I guess. King of the holiday sales. I must say, I've seen that all over the place here. I haven't seen many people rushing to buy it here, but apparently sales in the UK are fairly good compared with other countries for Meta's ma- Meta's mega magnitude machines, or yeah, meta machines. That's it. Meta's meta machines. Okay. Pico 5 has been cancelled, but Pico 4 Plus has not. Go figure. We'd heard earlier about Pico sort of closing down. Xbox Cloud Gaming is coming to Quest, so hopefully Microsoft can do for that thing what Fastbook couldn't. Uh, you don't hear me saying hoping that Microsoft can do better very often, but it can't really do worse than what it's got already. Right, so Xbox comes there. VR games, not really my thing, but as I mentioned here, the new Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the Wayfarer and Headliners, things like that, stylistically, see any difference except for the colour. But there you go. Don't know. Okay, they're getting AI superpowers. which presumably means that you can talk to them and they'll talk back at you. Whether it's in any way meaningful, I don't know. TikTok influencers are already making stories with them, so there you go. Samsung headset may be revealed very soon. Well, somebody else jumping in rather late to the helmet world, really. You'd think Samsung, with all their weight, they may not be Apple, but you'd think they'd actually maybe be investing in something other than a helmet. But
They've had helmets
apparently
before
yeah,
with
well,
with
yeah. Oh,
Windows
that,
mixed reality. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The competition has got helmets, so we've got to. But then again, also in the news, is the mixed reality stuff. Well, I'll come to. Let's just finish here first. Wi-Fi 7, photorealistic graphics, not fundamental to having a good experience. That's a link to an article. Vive discontinues its facial tracker. Um, Electronic shows out of the window. That's it. Okay, well, you just prompted me. I'm going to move on to the only link here that isn't an aggregate link, and that is our friends at roadtovr.com.
Mm.
And I was about to mention this anyway as we were talking. Basically, Microsoft are now putting the plug on all their helmets,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
which, whether they were VR or holographic or concoction or just Windows. I mean, Windows is a pretty good reason to cancel something in the first place, isn't it, really? So, yes, James just mentioned, of course, that Samsung had actually made Microsoft compatible ones. That's what you're getting at, wasn't it, James?
Yep. Yeah. The Odyssey.
Yeah.
I had one of those. Yep.
Ah, right. Well, Microsoft are pulling out too. Whether their technology will still be available for people like Samsung to make, I don't know. I mean, it does really seem that Microsoft don't want to be making helmets. They probably just, maybe they made a few as a loss leader, and now they've decided that economically it's just not viable.
There's a heavy base
Um,
of investment already in the HoloLens, but I don't think that
yeah.
uses Windows mixed reality. I think that has its own proprietary software for the military and the institutions that have
Ah,
purchased it.
yes, actually, that's a good
Yep.
point. It is well used in the enterprise.
Right.
Uh, yeah, they were Windows VR headsets were mostly compatible with modern Windows out the box
Right. Right.
and the virtual desktop system. We do have a video here if we want to play one. Why
Hmm.
not?
I remember those rings. Yep. That's the
Where
house.
things where
Yep.
things went wrong. Whack. Oh,
I, of course, filled up my house with screens from Windows applications, but
yes, that's one way. Yeah, exactly. Whoever filmed this looks like they're about to fall over. Come on, jump off the cliff and we'll be rid of you.
oh, you can't jump off the cliff.
The selector thing and the beam here seems familiar.
Yep.
Oh, maybe it's Oculus Go's got that as well. I think one of the worlds is it Sansar? One of the worlds has got that method of selecting. You see, what is it about that is somehow more magical than your desktop? It's more long-winded. Uh, admittedly, you can walk around places and manipulate things. That's something you probably can't do as easily on the desktop. But getting on a horse and putting on some music and traveling around some empty land is probably a nice way of chilling out. But when they're demonstrating officey type things, it just seems to me that is more time consuming than the actual using a 2D screen. But I must admit, when these possibilities came along in the very beginning, I was slightly tempted. There used to be an application called Microsoft Rooms. Well, no, I think it was just called Rooms. And it was like a Second Life game engine, but instead, when you put decorated items, they were just like objects, and you could link things. So you could have like a bookshelf in a room, and the bookshelf could link to a folder with all your ebooks in it, Or alternatively, each book on the bookshelf could actually open the PDF of that particular book for you to read. So it was a way of navigating your Windows ecosystem where, like, a Windows Explorer in 3D, but it actually genuinely felt as graphically rich as something like Second Life. One of its biggest problems was that it actually did run a kind of game engine behind itself. And if you, for example, wanted to launch Second Life whilst you were inside rooms, it wasn't having any. It couldn't run Second Life's engine and the rooms engine at the same time. I mean, that was beyond Microsoft's ability to handle, basically. So you had to quit rooms in order to go to another virtual environment. But it was, I've still got it around somewhere on an old machine. I don't beat up very often, but should give it another look one day. It was fun building a library and a lounge. Because, like in Second Life, you put a big media screen up and you put the links to what you want and your favorite newspapers and everything. And, so you'd have an office and a library and a lounge and then a place to wander around outside as well. And, it's a nice little hub to run away and hide in. There was no multiplayer, as they would call it, facilities there. You could obviously put a Twitter stream. If I don't have Twitter, then you could put, I don't know, a Yahoo Messenger screen or something into the room. That would be no problem. So you could bring communications things in, but it wasn't in itself a communications platform. So, but I must revisit it sometime. Maybe do a bit of, if I can get it. If it still runs on everything, it might be able to run a camera on it. So, here's from the history book or the archive or the
Right.
or the sewer, probably. Right. Barjo XL gets the Steam VR tracking variant. This, by the way, this is roadtovr.com, which is really just got a bit of a roundup there. Head tracking. Yeah, so their main news, of course, is Microsoft putting the plug, but they've got a bit more roundup news here too. Um, there's the mixed reality controllers. Whether that's the one that is still around or is now going, I'm not quite sure. And there we are again. Is that the same film? I think it is. It certainly looks the same if it
Yep.
isn't.
Yep.
Yeah. So a little bit of reflection there in that post. So you'll find this one, by the way, at roadtovr.com, roadtovr.com. And in case I didn't mention it, Tony Vitillo's previous site, the Scar Ghost, is at a site, oddly enough, called thescarghost.com, SKARREDGHOST.com. And moving on up to another familiar site, we have Forbes.com, and this is Charlie Fink's end of the week roundup. He did a TV show this week as well. We'll get to it in a minute. OpenAI suspends ByteDance. VR up or down, top gifts and games. Well, basically, he's probably had a few adverts popped in so that he can promote games. Okay, I'm not sure. OpenAI, ByteDance I've heard of, but I can't really sort of place them. But apparently they've been illegally using ChatGPT to train its own AI model, which apparently is against the terms of using OpenAI,
Yeah.
which, even though it is open, it's proprietary, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I think ByteDance is a Chinese company that made a competing headset, but they shut that
Yeah.
down last week.
Well, the Chinese are very good at making things, but most of what they make is kind of ripped off from elsewhere, ideas-wise. Although you could argue that Microsoft made an empire out of ripping off other people. Anyway, most of the alleged misuse took through ByteDance accessing GPT through Microsoft's Azure cloud. And TikTok owner, oh, right, TikTok is owned by ByteDance. There you go.
Yep.
So anyway,
Yeah, and their headset was the Pico.
Oh, right. So it connects with the right. Okay.
Yep.
So there we have some bloke and some other bloke, both of which that's the Microsoft bloke, I think, and that bloke.
Looks like
that's the
Sam
OpenAI.
Altman in that
It's
little
the
picture.
OpenAI bloke, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a yo-yo relationship, isn't it? Is he working for Microsoft or is he back at OpenAI? Or
He's
is he
back. He's
actually-
back at OpenAI. Yeah.
But he's sort of juggling both, I think,
Oh, okay.
somehow.
Could be.
Right. VR market keeps shrinking. Meta pours millions of dollars a quarter into the metaverse, but Despite that, it seems to be shrinking. Three contrasting views entering the new year. The brutal and not completely unfair story on CNBC points to a 40% decline in helmet sales. Meta responded indirectly with a blog post by Andrew Bosworth, who says the metaverse and AR Meta's two long-term bets on technologies of the future. Well, they have to be, really. I mean, they've been long-term bets for several years now, so they will continue to be so indefinitely until both of them merge together. So there you go. Um, Fast forward chasing the merging of its technologies, I suppose. Right, first size 400 hybrid VR concert Christmas. Oh, that's Tony Vittillo was also involved with Vroom for
Can
a
I do that
while.
sound effect now?
Oh, have we got one? Yeah.
That was for the
Well,
website Vroom. Remember we did that?
yes, yeah, I do. I think I got a first half of the room, then silence, and the second half of the room.
We
But never
did. We
mind.
did.
It was. I think your foot got stuck on the clutch or whatever the thing
Right.
is you do to get that noise. Okay. Jean-Michel Jarre, of course, will be donning his Lynx headset and performing live in the Hall of Mirrors from the landmark French Palace. You can download Vroom app from any of the app stores, and this is Charlie Pink talking actually. His
Yeah.
experiences have been amazing, but you don't want to be late. Once the rooms fill up, it can be very hard to get in. So there you go on
That's
that one.
tomorrow at
And
8 p.m. Okay.
yeah, Christmas Day at 8 p.m. London time, yeah. Well, Central European. Oh, actually, that would be 7 p.m. for me, I think, yeah. Um, Interesting. I'll probably forget, but if I remember, I might try for that one. Right, so to our top games thing, which they have on their own site, of course. Sandbox R inks a deal for 10 centres in Germany. Not quite sure why that. And then he's advertising his podcast, of course. So moving up to another aggregate site. They have a lot of other stuff here, but again, this week it's just been aggregate blogs, really. This is Spatial Beats. And it's a special Spatial Beats because it's the best XR of 2023, according to them. And you will notice the byline, according to Charlie Fink again. So a bit of crossover between this and the one at Forbes, really, but you will have no problem getting here to arinsider.co, ARINSIDER.co. The previous site was Forbes.com, FORBES.com, but depending on where you are and how you get in, etc., you may find yourself locked out by a fireball or a firewall, or being asked to subscribe before you can actually get a teaser. So or they play all sorts of tricks they're getting up to these days. Everybody wants your money, even the free ones. YouTube is a perfect example. Who's just making a buck at every different corner now, even though well, never mind. I'll do an editorial on that another day. The lead, three contrasting views. VR market is shrinking as Meta pours billions of dollars a quarter into it. All right. IDC says it's shaping up to be a year of tremendous recovery as shipments of helmets are expected to grow. And Microsoft, of course, announced that the support for helmets won't be included in future releases of the Windows operating system. So there you go. What else has he got here? CNET have top VR games. The must-have geek gifts. I'm not going to click on these links. None of our business, really. Oh, maybe I'll go and have a look and see if I can find myself a geek gift. Come on, no, not going to do that. No, definitely not. Right. OpenAI and ByteDance yet again. Yeah, I'm afraid this is pretty much repeat there because he's covered a lot of it in his other column and other people have too. So the final link of the week, yes, and you would believe already. This is big XR news from Meta, Microsoft, and New Eyes, and this is xrtoday.com, xrtoday.com. The usual banner headline there. Holidays are here. What a year for XR. Ups and downs. Industry firms through crashing technology market. 2023. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, that was that song. Blah 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 blah. It's all about sheep anyway. Pardon my diversion. Right. 2023 saw many XR giants crumble. Firms like Altspace VR and Pico suffered during the year. On the flip side, others prevailed and relaunched XR into the stratosphere, painting 2024 as a pivotal year. We'll see. We'll see. Looking back on the year is always fun. Probably even more fun is looking forward to next year, because nobody, of course, has the gift of foresight. They might think so. At this time of year, you get these people coming on the old television, so it's sort of on the chat shows, and sort of the host says, "Well, what are your predictions for this coming year?" And then the guest will say, "Well, this and this and this and this and this and this and this," and then they get on again next year. How did your predictions go? And flat. Anyway, I suppose great fun is to be had in pursuing the worthlessness of it all. Okay, Meta updates Quest about concerns from somewhere or other. And where is there anywhere not concerned about Facebook? Okay, Microsoft Office tools are in the Meta Quest, so still a bit of a link there. New Eyes, this was the thing that was particular to this blog. They're a company specializing in AR smart glasses, and they've achieved a significant milestone in their journey towards making them more widely adopted through FDA approval for its upcoming product, New Loops. Oh, that's clever, actually, New Loops. From New Eyes. I guess they've got a little bit of a tag on that. Right, okay, expanding their portfolio. Firm's patent-pending technology offers dentistry and medicine professionals unparalleled precision and live 3D visualization, etc., etc. Can I do the blah blah joke again? I've run out of words. Okay, that's it actually for the links this week. Not surprisingly, I said it was a very quiet week, which means that this news is probably the shortest of recent times. The shortest will be next week, because it won't be happening. There you are. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to quickly forward to my... I have a feed at Twitter, which is also on Mastodon, and all the links I publish here are actually there. There might be the odd extra one this week on the Twitter feed, but I very much doubt it. I mean, I was surprised when I went through and just found those few. But I also have video show embeds end up on the same feed, but I keep them here separately. There's only about only three this week. One is the VR Crewcast that came, I think it was yesterday, but I got it today. It's 2 hours long. It's the Christmas finale, and basically all the regular folk from...
Samson at 143 VR, thank you ever so much, Steve. Thank you for always being on the show.
Okay, well, the guys from Between Realities are in there, and various other popular casters. Oh, it's the gang. It's the gang onslaught of the week, basically, when it's going. Okay, this week in XR, this is Charlie Fink's moving pictures job, along with Ted Schillerwitz and Rory Abelwitz or something. Their guest this week is somebody called Sarah Hill, who's CEO of Helium, which I think is a half-based...
This Week in XR podcast.
It's a good episode if you get a chance to watch it. She works on using headsets for a whole variety of ways of healing, but she started with veterans and dealing with post-traumatic stress.
Ah, right, yeah. I thought that was familiar, because helium comes from healing in this particular context, and it isn't spelt like the chemical or whatever it is. Yeah, heal I am. Yeah. Okay. Well, yes, I confess. I didn't get this on time as usual. I had to go this morning, or was it last night, through my YouTube feed to see, see if any hadn't come up. And as it seems to be every week, I subscribe to this one, but it never comes up in my subscriptions. It only comes up if I go to the list and look up that site. So go figure. Yep. Anyway, yes, well, James is recommending it, so I will recommend it too on his behalf, because I'm sure if James recommends it, it must be good.
Ooh.
And she is very interesting, from what I know of her anyway, so that's good. Why do I sometimes misread things? The invasion of the 20-foot woman. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, why was I reading the 2023-foot Sarah Hill?
Oh, I do not know.
I was just mentally retarded. I was bad enough last week. I thought I was getting better this week, but that just proves me wrong. Right. Okay, one other clip that was in the feed this week, which is another one from Open Metaverse podcast on YouTube. This is Tim Bates, who's CTA and board tech advisor for, oh, God, what was it? Well, anyway, pragmatic tech perspectives to cap off the year with Tim Bates. And
On building the open metaverse.
yeah.
Didn't start at OpenAI. It didn't start in a corporation.
Oh, man.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Mark, for having me today. It has been a crazy year, but let's go.
Yeah, let's talk about the crazy year that it's been. But as you know, the
Okay, I think Tim Bates is actually the a primary person at the Open Metaverse group. Open Metaverse is not normally on the podcast, but I think he's involved with the Open Metaverse. His name is certainly familiar. Anyway, interesting chat. A bit, all of these chats. Well, actually, with the exception of Charlie Fink, oddly enough, are a bit techie. I mean, VR Crewcast is very. I mean, it's sort of intelligent fanboys all getting together in the gang. And This Week in XR was really a mixture of promotion and Charlie Fink, sort of accessible text, should we say? And then things like Open Metaverse Podcast do. I mean, this guy here on the still at the moment is from Google, for example, and it's but it still feels a bit geeky. But if you're remotely interested in that sort of thing, you probably find you can click on listen for a few minutes and you're hooked. And well, it's about 50 minutes, that podcast. And the only other thing listed this week is something that came out at the beginning of the week.
Yep.
Gosh, golly, what can that be? No, that is the Skull Ghost. It's not me at all. Yeah, see, Skull Ghost, me, Skull. Yeah, bit of a juxtaposition of faces there, really. Nah, not really. And why is my mouth not moving? Oh, of course, it's a still. Right, okay, behave myself, me. Okay, well, that's it. James, any thoughts on the week? Anything else you've been reading that I've been missing while I've been sleeping? Because I was a bit poorly in a week, so it might have been quiet for that reason too.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the VR download, and so, but I know there was an episode of that as well. But it was hosted by Kyle instead of Ian. But I'll go back and watch that later. But that's the headset show, yeah.
Yeah, no, I must have missed that because I was thinking about that and I couldn't find it. I noticed VR Download did publish a lot of videos this week, but not the actual VR Download show. They're all game reviews and things like that.
And they have their game showcase, right?
Yeah. I'll have to look it up and add it to that list for the hell of it.
Sure. Yep.
If I can find it, so you'd be able to see that too. That, of course, is Jane's favourite show. So yes, if it was there and we haven't got it, you can only take James's word for it. This is always a pretty good show, that. Okay, I'm going to leave you with something that turned up this morning. It's I don't know whether it's an in-world or a computer graphic thing. It comes from MD TV, I think they're called. They're an occasional YouTube channel that covers virtual world stuff and whatever. And since I didn't have anything else to show offline, as it were, this week, I thought I'd dig up this and leave you with it. So, as I say, we won't be back next week. We probably won't be back the week thereafter, although we might butt in with a show, for example, if there's any breaking news, that is breaking news of the sort we report, that is. So, well, yeah. you get the idea. So I wish you all a very good week and week thereafter and holiday season, if you whatever. And for those of you who do celebrate in some sort of form, this is a sort of classic tune done in a very non-classical way, and I just thought it would be a bit of fun to go out with a musical interlude. So here it is. Okay, my colleague on a companion show in World Review, Thursday Amber, actually said to me earlier today, 'cause I decorated our set with loads of Santa Claus animations. He said, "No Santa Claus!" So I had to take them all away, and I actually lost my floor in the process, but of course, being me. But I think I make an exception with that, because A, it's a different show, but B, you can't really call that Santa Claus, can you? Well, they were obviously, but there again. What the hell? What the hell is what I say? We had it. What are we doing here? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can watch that instead. Right. Okay. So as I said earlier, have a good time, everybody, and we will see you whenever we see you. Keep looking at our channel, Mal Burns Meta World on YouTube, and for various shows, of course. But that will be probably where you'll spot the next edition of this. Unless, of course, you subscribe, in which case you get an instant email saying, "Gone live, he's gone live, he's gone live." And if you're quick on the mark, I might still be live. Yes. Might still be alive. Yes. And more besides. Okay. It's goodbye from me and...
Goodbye for me. I was all set to close, so I had my sound off.
He had his finger on the button. Yeah,
Right,
I know. Fiddling with the knob and no time to say goodbye. Very much. Yep. Okay, we're out of here. See you soon, folks. Bye. It's a wrap.